Sofia Vergara's cousin, Sofia Vergara's cousin. It seems to me your only qualification was being Sofia Vergara's cousin, Sofia Vergara's cousin. That was the qualification. Hey, if you're a famous actor's cousin, hey, Eva Longoria, Eva Longoria's cousin, you out there somewhere, sis? As long as you're pretty, especially if you kind of look like Eva Longoria, just go to the Oppenheim group, babes. You'll be on the next season. You don't even need a license. Just show up and be someone's cousin. Amanza, for you to use your one liquid drop of black blood to shield Mary's racism and microaggressions and dog whistling against Chelsea, the unambiguously black woman? Hey guys, welcome to Extra Access TV and you're watching Rachel's Recap. Now today we are going to be recapping this Selling Sunset reunion. Now if you guys follow me, you know how this started a few days ago. So listen, this season was so triggering for me as a black woman that for the first time I really felt invested. I've never really come out here to do a review on a reality TV show, but this time I just felt The triggers were triggering, y'all. The triggers were triggering. So I went and I posted this on my Instagram stories, and then you guys were like, make it a post, make it a post. I posted it and it kind of went a bit viral with hundreds and hundreds of comments on there because everybody has so much to say on this topic. So let me go ahead and share that post with you, and then let's get right into this reunion because, my dear, it was rubbish. Justice for Chelsea. Literally. Okay, let's get into it. So this is what I wrote on my stories. I wrote, okay, today I'm going to be opinionated and speak on at Netflix Selling Sunset. If I can't use my platform to speak truth when it matters, then what's the point? Jason Oppenheim, I know we go to the same gym near your office and you're always gracious. So I say this with full respect. I understand you're not personally responsible for what plays out on screen, but I hope the production is mindful of how easily narratives can be manipulated to vilify someone undeservedly. And then I went on to say, at Mary Bonnet, watching you this, is it Bonnet or Bonnet? I don't know. But either way, watching you this season was deeply triggering. So many black women in corporate spaces have had to navigate the same exhausting dynamic, being hyper-scrutinized, purposely misunderstood, and then gaslit by someone who, due to pure insecurity and feeling intimidated, weaponizes tears and victimhood to punish them. To watch you diminish at Chelsea Lascani's post-divorce pain, imply her ex's success somehow disqualifies her from feeling empathy, and then turn around to smear her for showing grace to you, then take it further by campaigning for her to be fired right after stating that the income from your show made her privileged, was simply gross to witness. That's exactly how microaggressions and racial power dynamics play out in real life. At Brie Tiesi, I believe that's how it's pronounced, especially as a mother to a biracial son, I hope you reflect on how these patterns affect black people. Ironically, I recently interviewed your child's father for this month's Sheen magazine cover story, and we spoke about extending grace, something this season lacked entirely. The exclusion of Chelsea from the premiere of the event only underscored how alienation can be used as a tool of control and manipulation. It was disappointing to see. We all want drama and entertainment, but not at the cost of perpetuating harmful stereotypes and racial double standards. Accountability isn't shade, it is growth. Chelsea deserves better, and we deserve better representation. I truly hope future seasons reflect that. Hashtag I am my sister's keeper. So, yes. Watching this show, that is exactly how I felt, and I just couldn't let it go. It wasn't just gonna be another season where I saw everything play out and be like, meh, next season, oh, let's see the reunion. No, this hit home in a triggering way because as a black woman who's been in corporate America, I immediately saw what was going on. And I don't need to go through it all again because we need to get through this video, and I pretty much articulated it all in that post. And you guys, a lot of you agreed with me overwhelmingly, because we all could see what was going on. And what was interesting to me was, one, it was black women from all over the world who were reacting to this, but especially black women all over the diaspora. And it made me so sad that we all could see what was going on and identify with it. One day we need to really start talking seriously about Black women's mental health in these corporate spaces. How a lot of times you'll find yourself being the only Black woman or person of color in a certain setting, and all the gaslighting and all the undermining that goes on, everything I described. But that's basically what was going on with Chelsea this season. So obviously, after we were all outraged, we were all looking forward to the reunion. We wanted to see it addressed. We wanted to see them talk about this, right? We wanted justice for Chelsea because we were outraged, right? So yesterday, we find out that the reunion is going to be dropping. I stay up late to make sure that I catch it because I believe it dropped. Was it at 9? I don't know. I got notified about it around 10 o'clock. I wanted to sleep early. I stayed up and I watched the whole thing. And as it progressed, I just kept getting angrier and angrier. I was literally yelling at my TV, what is going on? What is this bullshit? What is this? You people are joking. Ooh, you people are joking with us. You're really like, you're literally, what do the Brits say? You're mugging us off, literally. It was crazy. So let me tell you why this was the case for me. First and foremost, the reunion starts. It goes on for almost half the show before this host ever turns to Chelsea and asks her a question about anything. And she's the only one not being talked about. So basically the whole theme of this reunion, in my opinion, was muzzling Chelsea. Don't address her. If you don't address her, it's all going to go away. But it was so ridiculous. So let me give you an example. Right after they do the introductions, right, and everybody is ready to proceed, the first thing that the host does is he tells them to reach back behind them and pick up some note and some piece of paper. And on that piece of paper will be a question asked to them by members of the audience. He goes down both couches talking to each and every one of them, all the castmates, including the new girl, Sofia Vergara's cousin, which, by the way, that's all. I'm sorry, but all we know about this girl is that she's Sofia Vergara's cousin. We'll get into that in a bit, okay? But even Sofia Vergara's cousin, who's been there for 2.5 seconds, we get to get her, read her question, and see what the audience people are asking. Then she gives her opinion on the matter, then they move on to the next person. This kept happening with all of them, but when it got to Chelsea, it skipped. So it's like, wait. You cannot tell me the audience did not have a question for Chelsea. Chelsea carried this season on her back. It was all about her. All the highlights were her. That's all we're talking about. So I know the audience would have been dying to ask her a question. So I know that in my note that I posted on my stories and subsequently on my post, I started by saying, Jason, I see you at the gym, and I know that you're not responsible for, you know, how the ladies portray themselves or what they do on camera, but and that maybe you're not a part of production. But actually I was later told that I was mistaken because he is the executive producer. So Jason, was that you? Who is it that decided to cut off Chelsea's question? Because I know she was asked a question for sure. You probably got, like, if every other castmate got 2 or 3 or 10 questions, Chelsea got 200 to 1,000 plus, because we wanted to ask her so many questions. Are you okay? I mean, are we seeing what we're seeing, sis? Are we crazy? How do you feel about Mary? Basically making you look like the big bad ogre, claiming that you're there to harm her, but it's the opposite. Like, we had so many questions for her. So why did you cut Chelsea's question? So that's the first snap Chelsea gets. And it's just ridiculous. So now, by the time they're done doing their questions, we're about 15 minutes into the show. Chelsea has just been sitting there like the pretty doll she is. You would think she didn't say anything, but clearly that's an editing decision. And I believe what happened is because they were so bold, they were bold enough to shoot this reunion before the viewers had watched it. So they did not know how the viewers were going to react. This is how delulu they were as a unit. They thought they were so justified in their treatment of Chelsea that they would victimize her in this way. Mary would see her nameplate and scream and cry and say, oh, my life is in danger, I'm scared. My tears. And all that she did, they thought they were so justified in doing this that the audience would see and be like, yes, burn Chelsea at the stake. We agree with you all. Miscalculations, miscalculations on your part. And it shows just how unself-aware you all are as a unit. Like, how can you all just be delusional? Like, between all of you, none of you could have like put your heads together, and then somewhere one brain cell, another one connects, then someone gets a little bit of self-awareness from the other, then like, even if it was a combination of brains, we needed one of you all to have the foresight to see how this was going to work out. But you thought that you'd successfully alienated this black woman and you were going to boot her off the show and that everybody would agree with you. So you were arrogant enough to say, let's even just shoot this reunion, man, and get this show on the road and get Chelsea out of here. That's what you thought. Ooh, but were you mistaken? Because posts like mine went viral and you saw from your comments, Mary turned off her comments. Everybody was annihilating all of you in all the comments, and I love to see it because how dare you do this? It was disgraceful. So I have a feeling that because you had pre-shot this nonsense, when you saw the reaction, you went back to the drawing board quick. Delete. Oh, what is no. Because I know Chelsea probably got a questioning her on the blatant microaggressions, dog whistling, and racism that we all observed happened to her at the hands of especially Mary, the so-called manager, and everybody else just standing by except for Emma and Chriselle, really. And then you were like, yeah, this is not gonna make us look good. Let's erase that real quick. Let's get that out of the way. Now that's the first way she was snapped. Now the show keeps going on. Halfway into the show, Mary has still not been spoken to. The big thing going into the intermission where they abruptly cut everything short and say, let's go eat, because things are getting too heated, even with the ones that we've decided to highlight. So now we go into the Emma and Chriselle storyline. And you can tell on the side of like Mary and Bree, you can tell they were like, man, this is the reunion where we're going to look so good. It's going to be Emma and Chriselle falling out. We're going to be going in on Chelsea and basically just do all these things and call her this and that and gloat that she's fired. That's what you thought. You can tell that that's what they thought. Anyway, the thing that they decide to focus on, is going to be this whole Emma versus Chriselle thing, the grand breakup of these two besties. But my dears, it was never a twosome, it was a threesome all season long. It was Emma, Chriselle, and Chelsea. That was the unit, and it was them against the rest of the women. So why all of a sudden is the grand reveal going to be a clash with Emma against Chriselle only? And then the subject you're talking about is even more diabolical, which again is going to lead to me saying Chelsea's scenes were cut. Because tell me this, you have three friends, right? One is a lesbian. The other one is a black woman who's also an immigrant. The issue at hand is that girl in the middle is dating this new guy who just so happens to be an alleged bigot. Again, allegedly. But we did see some things. Chriselle also posted some tweets of him basking in all his alleged bigotry. Okay? So if that's the issue, and I relate to Chelsea a lot. I'm a black woman and I'm an immigrant as well, living in America, right? Let's say it was me, then we have another friend and another. And my friend is dating someone who's super MAGA, allegedly, who is also, who likes to say the N-word, allegedly, who also happens to be, I guess, homophobic, has a problem with pronouns, has a problem with just, homosexual relationships in general, and is expressing these things online, on top of also just having misgivings about how we feel he's treating our friends. But like, those are key issues. I mean, I cut off a lot of people out of my life because of the last election. I did. Because how are you in Miami as a Cuban holding up, MAGA signs and doing all of this when the biggest ticket is running on is deportations, which ended up affecting you first? Like, there was a lot. So that would be a big deal if my best friend would be dating someone like that, because obviously you want to side-eye them. So then now begs the question, if that's the case, if she's dating that type of a person and she's sandwiched in between these two particular women, why then would you make the reunion only about her and the white lesbian? So that you're telling me that host, who was also an immigrant, by the way, and also a man of color, I'm not sure what his background is, but he looks Indian to me. So I suspect he's of maybe British Indian or Pakistani. I need to look him up. Forgive me if I'm wrong, but that's what I think he is, because he does have a British accent and he looks like a brown man. And usually that would mean he's either Pakistani or Indian, given that particular type of look. But I have to look him up. You're telling me that man sitting there as an immigrant here, who's also a gay man. Okay, again, I'm presuming he's gay because how you doing? But if I'm wrong, correct me. But he appears to be a homosexual man. He appears to be an immigrant. He appears to be a minority. Okay? He's a brown man. You're telling me, in questioning Emma, he did not sit for one moment and think, by the way, Chelsea, you're the third part of this friendship. How is all this affecting you? What do you think about Emma's new boo liking to use the N-word? What do you think about him being a staunch MAGA supporter, being that you're an immigrant yourself? What do you think about him being such a staunch MAGA supporter when there's a lot of anti-Black rhetoric coming from this whole, even election campaign time or whatever, and this newly elected administration? I mean, you're talking about an administration that was claiming Black immigrants in America are eating cats and dogs and kidnapping bats and geese from the park and eating them, which was all proved to be false. How do you feel about Emma dating such a person? Are you telling me that the host did not have the wherewithal to ask that question? Andy from Bravo would have asked it 100%, and yes, he is gay, but he's also white, and very privileged. But I promise you, it would have occurred to him to ask that question. So you cannot tell me that this man did not ask Chelsea those questions. So again, what we see is another very choppy interaction, because it just feels like something is missing. All they do is pan the camera to Chelsea sometimes, and then you see an expression of her on her face which seems very loaded. It almost seems as if she just finished saying something, but there's no footage of her ever saying anything. So again, I have a feeling after seeing the backlash, Jason and them, they were like, ooh, we are in trouble. Let's go back and chop off more of Chelsea's parts. That's what I think. So we're watching a reunion now. We're going to the halfway point. Chelsea's not being spoken to. And even just the whole connotation of that, don't you see how disrespectful that is? How you're silencing her again. Like this is literally what they call, I think it's called DARVO. So DARVO, D-A-R-V-O, it's an acronym, and it's used mostly for victims of narcissistic abuse, really. And this is what it means. DARVO is an acronym for deny, attack, reverse victim, and offender. So that's DARVO. It describes a manipulative tactic used by perpetrators to deflect blame when confronted about their wrongdoing. The person accused will deny the behavior, attack the accuser, then portray themselves as a victim while making the true victim appear to be the offender, which is exactly what Mary did all season long with Chelsea. Oh, you send me flowers. How dare you attack me in this way? Chelsea is like, so Chelsea goes, that's unreasonable. No, it's not. That's deny. You couldn't have texted me, attack, right? You could have done this differently. I chose to send flowers. But why? You're not even my friend. It was such a violence against me. That's called the reverse victim and offender part. Then Chelsea goes, ooh, this will look bad for you. How dare you? Ran outside crying. That's the reverse victim and offender. So they reverse the situation, turn themselves into the victim, and then ultimately in doing all of that are re-offending you all over again, which she does again in that final pathetic scene where she sees Chelsea's name on a nameplate and has a whole meltdown and panic attack and her name is dangerous to me. Oh my God, I might die. How dare I see this name? Because people die from seeing names. Child. I'm laughing, but it's not a laughing matter. Sometimes you just laugh to keep from getting too frustrated or even crying. Because for some of us, we're not as generous with our tears. But you have to understand, this is very dangerous, what Mary did to Chelsea. And all Chelsea did this season, you could tell her demeanor was different this year. You could tell life had humbled her. Like her divorce, you could tell it had taken a toll on her. She wasn't her usual bubbly self, but most importantly, she was staying away from anyone who seemed to have a problem with her. She didn't want to argue. And even at that first dinner where Mary goes on the attack, you literally, before she goes on that whole rant about why did you send me flowers? How could you attack me with beautiful $150 flowers? You were fake. You wanted to do it for TV. Even before she did all that, like you saw Chelsea trying to sympathize with her, telling her, listen, no, it's okay for you to be upset that you lost material things, that things you worked for. She was trying to be sympathetic while Brie and them were rolling their eyes over there. God, it was so frustrating to see. And before we even continue with the rest of the reunion, I have to mention this. Like, Mary, how could you be upset with Chelsea for sending you flowers? Which I would have done the same. If we work in the same office, even if I can't stand you and something traumatic happens in your life, I am going to show you that I'm sympathetic in one way or another. And sending flowers is a really good way. I would rather do that because personally, I wouldn't want to send a text message because in text messages, a lot of things are lost in translations. When you get a text message from someone, you don't see their body language, you don't see the look on their face, you don't see the look on their eyes, you can't gauge their sincerity. I promise you, if Chelsea had sent Mary a text message, it would have been, how could you text me? You're not even my friend. You don't care about me. You just wanted to attack me. But I think sending flowers is perfect. It's a very classy thing to do. It's old school. You send it with a note, and you cannot be accused of having sent an insensitive text message or an aggressive text message or a text message that was just shallow and fake. This is a good gesture. I mean, even if someone you don't know, like, let me give you a good example. Someone in the neighborhood you don't know dies in a gruesome way, which happens unfortunately from time to time, and then people have a candlelit vigil for them. What do people do? Do they send text messages of condolences to the family? No, because that's actually more intrusive. They show up to the vigil with flowers and place them there. Now imagine if the family was like, your daughter didn't even like my daughter. This is an attack. How dare you bring flowers? Wouldn't that be silly? And I'm not trying to equate death with robbery, but I'm just giving an example. Giving flowers is a universal way of showing condolences or just letting someone know that you sympathize with their situation or you're happy for them, etc. So it was really uncalled for Chelsea to turn that into an you are an aggressive black woman who's trying to harm me moment. Okay? So, and for that to have happened, meanwhile, we saw the other girl, is it Alana? I'm sorry, I can never remember her name. We saw her giving Mary flowers. We saw Jason give her 2 Rolexes off his wrists. That wasn't performative. And what's more, we saw Jason, who is Mary's ex-boyfriend, literally offer to pay for therapy for Mary and her man, Mary and her husband. He must be a very understanding husband. My husband in all his Eastern Europeanness, first of all, allowing me to work in an office with this guy who clearly favors me and gives me all this business. That would have been a very, very touchy subject. 2, he's going to give you 2 Rolexes. 3, he's paying for our therapy. My husband would have taken those watches and chop. More like chop. Let me not do that. I'm sorry. I don't want to make fun of anyone's height. But he literally would chuck them in his face and be like, take your watches. And no, you're not going to pay for our therapy. The hell? You think I'm broke? You think you can take care of my wife? So all that performativeness was done on camera, but Chelsea sending flowers to you, not even her. If she wanted to be on camera, honey, she would have showed up the way she usually does, gotten out of her car, catwalking, boom, 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 with the biggest bouquet of flowers and come and looked for a moment with you. But she just sent flowers. They just happened to be delivered when you were filming. But oh my God. Just some of the micro, like you are looking for any reason to vilify this girl. And let's not forget how their so-called issue started. Chelsea did say that this girl has never liked her ever from the beginning. And then we also shown a montage of when Mary and her have this confrontation. Apparently Mary is upset with how she dresses, but what was messed up about that, which happens to black women so much. So apparently Mary had a problem with Chelsea's dress code. which is ridiculous because they all dress incredibly sexy and honestly wildly inappropriate for real estate showing and business showings. Like, let's just be for real. Who is going for a real estate showing wearing 6-inch heels, teeny tiny skirt, cleavage out? But they all do it, and it's part of the reason why we like this show. Like, all of them catwalking there, like making this poor lady who's there with her husband be like, you know? But that's part of the pizzazz of the TV show. But for some reason, Mary decided to pick on Chelsea. But she didn't even go and tell her directly. She went and reported her to her ex-boyfriend, who just so happens to be the owner of the brokerage. So now your bosses are telling you, well, you are inappropriately dressed according to Mary, which is also more BS because all those girls dress the same. Teeny tiny things, which are very cute. I'm not hating. I'd be doing the same if I was there. Hello. And then, so they have a whole thing about it where Chelsea's like, you're not going to disrespect me. You have something to say it to me. But also, don't go starting issues with me with my bosses over something so insignificant. My dress, my choice, bitch. And Mary did not like that because how dare you have something to say back to me. So that is literally the basis of this huge enmity they're supposed to have. Then she proceeds this season to just talk about Chelsea non-stop and then put all this stuff on her and then ends up with her trying to get her fired. I can't be here. If you can fire her, then I can't stay. Lord, this the audacity for me. But anyway, back to this wretched reunion, yeah? So now we are at the halfway mark. We're just seeing Chriselle and Emma going back and forth over this boyfriend she doesn't want her to have because he's homophobic, because he said he likes to use the N-word, da-da-da. And Chelsea is just sitting there posted up, saying nothing, not being asked anything by the host. As a black woman, you're one of your best friends dating someone who appears to be a bigot, allegedly wouldn't bother you, who's calling people, who's a MAGA person and believes in all that stuff, wouldn't bother you, allegedly, who, you know, is obviously his views, if they lean that way, would be problematic, probably even more so for Chelsea than Chriselle. So you didn't think to talk to the black girl? All of a sudden, they decide, these ones are arguing too much. The host goes, no, stop it. We are going to go on a lunch break, everybody. Shut up. Stop it right now. Lunch break. Let's go eat. Stop. Okay. So we still have hope. We're pissed because it's like our girl Chelsea hasn't been spoken to. All she's done is chime in here and there in other people's issues because of course she's an opinionated person. It's not like Chelsea is a wilting flower sitting somewhere in the corner of the room saying nothing. She will speak her mind. So interesting that the host didn't have any questions for her when she was the main. Anyway. Ay, man. I'm tired already. Just thinking about it because I was looking at this TV like, what is going on? So we are halfway through. We see them go for their little lunch break, yada, yada, yada. People are upset. This. But we're expecting them to come back and now turn over to Chelsea, right? Tell me why they come back. End up concluding this matter very quickly. Here goes the host. Obviously, we're not going to sort this out today, so let's move on. Move on to what? Chelsea, are you serious? She carried this season on her back. Everything was about her. How dare you? So, okay, we're not going to talk about that. So what are we going to talk about next? Tell me why all of a sudden we're being shown the trailer of Selling OC. That show, whose cast is honestly just terrible. Oh, no. At some point, Nicole came in, so we had to give space for that. And then the Chriselle thing happened. Now we are past the halfway point, and it's like, okay, now we're getting to Chelsea, right? No, we've decided to take this next 10 minutes to plug the new season of Selling OC. Another show on their franchise with honestly a terrible cast. I mean, that cast, we have seen an affair between cast members. We've seen a woman being cheated on live. They are crass. They basically did to Brandy. They basically did to Brandy what they're doing to Chelsea this season. They had to subject me to Alex Hall's face. Why do I gotta see Alex Hall's irritating, mean face That mean-spirited weird lady, why do I have to spend 10 minutes on the reunion for Selling Sunset where I'm waiting for you to address Chelsea, which will ultimately be addressing me and every black woman as well who watches this show because we are so triggered. But no, we're going to sit through Alex Hall and her minions. And now you want us to know who the new cast members are? Netflix, what? You don't believe in your own marketing? You don't think we would have seen that trailer? Since when do you advertise another show within a show? You only have an hour and you're going to take 10 to 15 minutes to talk about this at a whole different show? We would have seen the trailer. You guys put it in our faces all the time. We would have gone to Instagram and seen it all over the place as well. We would have seen the media blitzes. This was unnecessary. And I know they did it last season as well. I had the same opinion. Unnecessary. Especially when you have such huge topics to tackle. These are not the days when you can ignore racism and microaggressions. Gone are the days when you could be microaggressive and then your victim could say nothing. This is why they came up with the term microaggressions. Because microaggressions is when someone is racist to you, but they don't walk up to you and call you the N-word. Hey, N-word. They don't say that. They don't come to you and say, I hate black people. They don't say that. But they treat you in ways that are blatantly different than anyone else in the room, in a way where you know they're treating you differently because they don't like you because of your skin color, and they know that you know, but it's not spoken. So back then they used to get away with it, but you can't get away with it anymore. It doesn't happen. So you cannot, I don't know if you thought because of the political climate you could get away with it, but I think America and the world showed you that no, you can't. That was not good. That was not cool. You cannot dehumanize that woman who actually appears to work really hard, that has already been put through the ringer from the beginning of this show. You cannot do that to her and get to move along like it's nothing. You're not allowed. You're not allowed. Don't forget when Chelsea joined the brokerage, she's the only one of all those realtors who's ever had to sell a multi-million-dollar house to prove that she was worthy of being there. Sofia Vergara's cousin didn't even have her license, allegedly. I believe that. Did you see her sell anything? Did you see her show anything? Did you see her even talk about her experience in real estate, what type of homes she sold, what type of business she'll be bringing to Jason? Did you see any of that? All we had was Sofia Vergara's cousin, Sofia Vergara's cousin. And because I'm a journalist and an entertainment host, I picked up on this. Most people probably didn't, but I did because it piqued my interest. I heard her mention somewhere that she worked for People. I'm like, okay, so you're a media girl like me. Well, how you get on this show without a license? Because it seems to me your only qualification was being Sofia Vergara's cousin. Sofia Vergara's cousin. We get, okay, that was the qualification. Hey, if you're a famous actor's cousin, hey, Eva Longoria, Eva Longoria's cousin, you out there somewhere, sis? As long as you're pretty, especially if you kind of look like Eva Longoria, just go to the Oppenheim group, babes. You'll be on the next season. You don't even need a license. Just show up and be someone's cousin. But meanwhile, Chelsea had to sell a home in order to be allowed to be on there. And you know what gave me the ick at the time? There was another Latina woman. I don't know if you guys remember. I think it was around season 5. She was there around the same time as Chelsea. I believe they joined the show at the same time. This woman also, I don't believe she had a license because it wasn't said, but she had no experience in real estate. And she was just taken in. No issues. But, oh, Chelsea, you want to be on? Christine, you want to bring Chelsea on? No. You got to sell a house and prove to me you deserve to be here. Which she did. And even this season, how many of these girls did we see selling houses? We saw Chelsea consistently working and selling. You know, of course, we have like the house fixtures like... Amanza, the house fixture. Amanza, the piece of furniture. Because we've never seen you sell nothing, not a lick of real estate. It said you don't have a license. And somewhere along the way, we started being told that you are the stager. You do interior design. How many homes have we seen you stage, Amanza? I believe it was just one, the first time they introduced that whole concept to us years ago. But babes, all you do is dress up real cute and come to the office. Listen, Amanza, I need to address you as well. Because I think you should be ashamed of yourself. For you, who, let me say this correctly. Amanza, for you to use your one little drop of black blood to shield Mary's racism and microaggressions and dog whistling against Chelsea, the unambiguously black woman, that is so messed up. Listen, Amanza, I don't think anyone ever expected you to stand up for Chelsea. Because honestly, truth be told, most of the time, I don't think anyone remembers you're black, including yourself. Let's just be so, okay, I won't say including yourself. That's not fair, right? But like, for me personally, when I saw you, I had no idea you were black. Then when you finally said you were black somewhere down the line, I remember going to your Instagram. I'm like, she's black? Where? Then I scroll. I mean, I could see the cornrow hairstyles here and there, but I'm like, nah, I'm still not convinced. Until I saw, I think, a hairstyle where maybe it looked like you're wearing your natural hair and it was curly, and I was like, okay, I see it now. But you're definitely high yellow. And honestly, Amanza, you do not lead with your blackness when you enter a room. I promise you, I guarantee you, these women forget you're black 99.9% of the time. Only when they want to say, but I'm not racist. Amanza has been my friend for 20 years and she is black. That's the only time your black gets brought up. One, because it's comfortable to be around you, because people like Chelsea and me, who are unambiguously black women, when we walk into a room, we lead with our blackness, whether we want to or not, because it's what they see. And for people who think the way Mary does, it's what they see. But you allow them to be like, I got a black friend, but they don't have the discomfort of seeing your blackness all the time until it's convenient. Your blackness only comes out when it's convenient. When it's time for you to rock those cute cornrow hairstyles, when it's time for you to defend your racist friend. Oh, but Mary doesn't kill black women. I'm her friend and I'm black. Come on. You could have just been quiet, Amanza. And one more thing, and I'll say this boldly because I don't know if I'll ever get a chance to say it again, Amanza. You do have black children, though. They are on the lighter side, but they're not high yellow as you. And they also have features that are more Afrocentric features, more African features from what I've seen. With them, there's no confusing that, yes, there's black blood running in there. Those children will need to be taught by their mother or father or someone, but especially you as their mother and their natural. You're going to be the one who's responsible of teaching them about microaggressions, about women like Mary, and how dangerous they can be to black people, how dangerous they have been historically to black men. For your son, hello? Have you taught your son about Emmett Till? And when you teach him that, how are you going to explain Mary and how you're the one backing her up now? Because I promise you, you might have been surprised. Back then, she maybe had an back then they used to use these terms. She might have had an octoroon friend somewhere and said, oh, I have a black friend. But she still did what she did. Or women like that, what they do to women like us, get us fired from our livelihoods. You talk about Chelsea. Oh, please. She had a rich husband anyway. Blah, blah, blah. She's privileged. And she works here with us. So she's privileged. Then you try to take her job away from her as a single mom. Like, we get fired from jobs because of Mary's. It's crazy how many women are telling stories in the comments on my posts, in my DMs, about the Marys in their lives. The ones who are like, I'm crying seeing this right now because I just lost my job under the same circumstances and it's a non-profit. Shame on you, Amanza. Check yourself. Like, I'm going to read you for filth right now because you also pissed me off, Amanza. I get it. I respect your hustle. You have been mooching off of these white people for years. Like, I mean, on the one hand, like, do you, girl? Like, finesse it all. You do nothing. All you do is show up there looking cute and you collect a cute check. That's all we see you do. We don't see you do anything but just show up and be cute. Good for you. You found a sweet spot. I get you want to protect those free checks you're getting, but you shouldn't do it at the expense of another woman being treated that way and also ultimately being let to lose her job. And for you to go sit your butt down and talk about how, oh, in an interview, Mary has been here since the beginning. I wouldn't want to see her go because of the drama being brought by these new people. These new people, Mary is the one bringing the drama, first of all. And for you to be comfortable seeing Chelsea possibly getting fired so you can keep your cute little check that you barely worked for with these white people so you can be their token, shame on you at your big age. Honestly, shame on you. And I said what I said. Very triggering. This thing has been triggering on so many fronts. That is a disgrace. What else? Now let's just go back to the reunion and wrap this up. So after they finish showing the OC people, now they're going to talk about Chelsea versus Mary. But is it going to be anything like you want it to be? Is there going to be accountability taken? Is there going to be discussions about microaggressions, about racism in the workplace, about isolation, about weaponization of tears, about victimization? No. It's going to be a chance for Mary to redeem herself by dismissing as much as possible so that she doesn't have to address anything. Just gloss over everything. Yeah, that happened, but I was going through a hard time. Yeah, that happened, but. The only time that she was almost held accountable was when Chelsea put her foot down and she was like, but I must address this. You said that I did not deserve empathy because my ex-husband was rich. Do you know, you said she did not deserve empathy as a single mother. And she was like, do you know that I have not received a single red cent from this person? I have been the sole provider for my children. Then here goes Mary. Like, if someone told you that, wouldn't your instinct be to say, oh my gosh, I did not know that. I just assumed. I'm so sorry. No, you know what she does? She's like, what? You mean you're not getting alimony? At least alimony? No child support, no alimony? She goes, I just told you I don't get a single red cent. No, I do not. Then she goes, well, if what you're saying is true, then I'm sorry. Excuse me? So even Chelsea was like, excuse me? If what I'm saying is true, I'm telling you this is my reality. And you're trying to mess with my livelihood and I'm the sole provider for my children. Then that's when she goes, well, I'm sorry then. Then before the conversation can continue anymore, here comes the host. Well, we're never going to solve this out today. Let's go ahead and finish this today. Thank you so much, ladies, for being here. We'll see you again next year. Bye. Rush and finish it off. Are you kidding me? Even when you watch the ladies get up and walk off set, I looked at Chelsea and I just felt like she looked kind of broken. She looked kind of downtrodden. She looked kind of sad. She just kind of looked down and walked off the set. She knew she'd been silenced. She was silenced. She didn't get to express herself. She didn't get to say anything. And I'm sure in the original footage, she was probably being gaslit and piled up on top of everything. And those parts where she spoke were cut out. So we didn't get to see her speak her mind on her own situation, only where she chimed in for other people. And then when there was an opportunity to even at the very end address the main thing, it was glossed over because it's more important to make Mary look good for the sake of the Oppenheims. I do want to say one more thing that I forgot to bring up with Amanza. Amanza, you said that even during the season it was said that you guys want the OGs, you wanted to go back to the way it used to be, the OGs of Oppenheim, so you want Amanza, you want Mary, Nicole. I don't know if Chriselle is a part of that anymore, but basically you were just saying all this to say you want to kick Chelsea out, right? One thing I'm gonna point out, you OGs are weird AF because all of you slept with your boss. And I remember when Christine was there and she used to go, she's like, I'm the only one who hasn't F the boss in this office. Psh, how embarrassing. It is weird. We've been friends, we've been best friends. So this is Mary's perception. We've been best friends for so many years. I can't be racist. We are even Eskimo sisters. We both F the boss. How can I be racist when I let a D that wasn't her be in me? That wasn't spoken, but I just imagined it. It's part of the thought process. It's weird, okay? That's one. Two, here's one thing you need to understand. Yes, you can keep Mary at the Oppenheim group all you want, okay? You can keep her there because the Oppenheim group belongs to y'all. But selling Sunset belongs to us, sis. Selling Sunset belongs to us. the audience. Not even Netflix. Netflix gave it to us. If we don't like what we see and we say we're going to boycott you, we're not going to watch you, we're not going to watch if Chelsea doesn't come back, that means your ratings are going to tank and you're going to be off the air. Selling Sunset is not forever. The Oppenheim Group can be. With that said, I say all of this to say, yes, Mary can stay at the Oppenheim Group, but she can stay behind the scenes. We don't have to see her on Selling Sunset, darling. You don't have to chuck Chelsea from Selling Sunset to keep Mary. Mary can stay at the Oppenheim Group because there are also other agents at the Oppenheim Group that we never see on camera. The male ones. I understand there's male agents there as well, allegedly, but we don't see them. We see the cast, who some of them don't even have licenses. So y'all keep Mary over there at the Oppenheim Group. Let us keep Chelsea on Selling Sunset on our screens. How about that? Because if you guys think you can get away with getting rid of Chelsea, you got it wrong. We've already shown you with viral posts like mine that we are not letting this go. And shame on you for not taking that chance to apologize. All Mary did was turn off her comments and post some arrogant clip talking about basically throwing shade at Chelsea, some skid. Who does that? Jason and the rest of them, quiet. You guys need to do better. Chelsea deserved better. We deserved better. The whole world deserves better. Young girls watching deserve better. We used to love your show. And here's the sad part. It never needed to get this toxic. Listen, watching those gorgeous women selling stunning homes that are extremely expensive, that alone is drama. It's fabulous. We love that. We could just watch you negotiating deals, going like, no, my client will not go a cent over 65 million. And then the other agent going, well, mine will not come up anywhere further than 63.78 million with a 30-day escrow. Then do music. Give me a second. Let me go call my client. This is what she said. Please just take it. I'll even give you half of my commission. Just take it. Then come back. You got a deal. Like things like that would have been interesting enough. We didn't need all this drama. This is not the Housewives. You could have literally, you had the perfect formula to give us something so fabulous and empowering for women. And it's actually not boring. None of that is boring. We love watching how you guys dress. We love watching your little catwalks. And we love watching the rivalry at work. You could have kept it to like the personal stuff to a minimum. But instead you decided to make it the fodder. Make it full drama and toxicity between you all. And childishness. A lot of growing up needs to be done. And I think what we saw this season was a lot of growth from Chelsea. You can tell when life puts you through things, sometimes you come to realizations and you just start to want to do better. So I say all this to say the reunion was absolute rubbish. The reunion was absolute trash. You failed us and you failed Chelsea. You should have done better. Shame on you. Rachel, out.